Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at something pretty mind-blowing, I think, the science of connection.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've got some fascinating sources lined up that explore how powerful emotions and intentions can actually leave a mark on the world, maybe even ripple through time and space.
It's a fascinating concept.
It is. It's going to get pretty deep, so let's jump right in.
Sounds good.
Okay, so.
I think a great place to start would be with this idea of wrinkles in time.
Okay.
Thinking about how intense emotions can leave a lasting energetic imprint on a location.
So it's like the place itself remembers what happened there.
Exactly. And there are some really compelling examples to back this up.
Oh, wow. Like what?
Well, take the Grail Stone, for instance.
Okay, the Grail Stone.
Yeah, the story goes that John Trithenius, who some believe was the son of Mary Magdalene, experienced such intense bliss that it physically altered a stone coffin lid.
Hold on, Bliss melted a stone.
It's pretty wild.
That's pretty intense. Yeah, and the energy associated with that event was so powerful that for centuries people wanted to be buried in that very spot, hoping to tap into it.
So it's like the energy lingered there, almost like an echo of that emotion.
Precisely. And we see this kind of phenomenon in other places too, like Padmasambhava's handprint in India.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
His touch supposedly melted the stone, and the site draws visitors to this day because of the energy people feel there.
It's like some kind of energetic residue.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking about emotions, energy, and their potential impact on the physical world. This kind of reminds me of the Akashic Records, that concept of like a universal library of knowledge.
Exactly.
Containing everything that has ever been and ever will be.
That's the idea. And what's really intriguing is that we don't have to look outside of ourselves to access this knowledge.
Oh, interesting.
It's already within us, encoded in our very being.
So the challenge then is learning how to tap into it, right?
You got it. But before we dive into that, it's important to understand the mechanics of this connection, and just as importantly, the potential risks involved.
Okay, let's talk about the risks.
Okay.
What do we need to be aware of when we're trying to tap into these deeper levels of connection?
Well, one of the biggest dangers is neglecting what we might call astral hygiene,
Astral hygiene.
Yeah, think of your personal energy field like a delicate ecosystem.
Okay.
When you start connecting with other realms through practices like meditation or distance healing, you need to protect that energy field.
So it's like when you're exploring a new place, you want to be mindful of your surroundings, take precautions to stay safe.
Exactly. And this leads us to the potential downsides of relying too heavily on external tools for connection, like black mirrors, which figures like John Dee and Nostradamus used.
Black mirror, oh, like those obsidian surfaces that some people use to try to amplify their psychic abilities?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those,
Okay.
while these tools can potentially yield results, they come with some inherent risks.
Like what? What kind of risks are we talking about?
Well, the biggest concern is attracting unwanted entities or negative energies.
Oh.
When you externalize your connection in this way, it's like leaving the door to your home wide open. Anyone could walk in.
That's a little unnerving.
Yeah.
So if we're not supposed to rely on these external tools, what's the safer, more effective way to connect?
It's about cultivating inner bliss and connection.
Okay.
Instead of relying on external amplifiers, we need to strengthen our internal antenna, so to speak.
I like that analogy,
Yeah.
strengthening our internal antenna.
And this is where the power of intention and attention comes into play, particularly in practices like distance healing.
So it's not just about focusing on the person you're trying to heal, but also about the quality of your own energy and intention going into it.
Absolutely. And we have some insights from Shelley, a healer, who emphasizes having the client actively participate in the session via video.
Oh, interesting.
This helps strengthen the connection through visual and audio cues, creating a more powerful energetic link.
So it's more of a collaborative approach then,
Right.
where both the healer and the recipient are actively engaged.
Exactly. Shelley also uses water as a medium for amplifying and transmitting healing energy.
Water.
Yeah, during the session, she infuses water with her intention and then releases it back to the earth.
That's a beautiful image.
It is.
Like a ripple effect of healing energy.
Exactly. So beyond just intention, are there specific techniques for optimizing distance healing, amplifying those connections?
I would love to know more about that.
Well, one technique is using psychotronic witnesses.
Psychotronic witnesses, what are those?
They're objects like photographs or personal belongings that are imbued with the recipient's energy.
Okay.
By focusing on these objects during the healing session, you can create a stronger energetic link.
So it's like having a tangible representation of the person you're sending healing to,
Exactly.
which helps focus your intention.
Right. Another approach is aligning with powerful energetic points,
Mm-hmm.
like magnetic lines, sunrise and sunset, or the equinoxes and solstices. These points are believed to act as energetic gateways, amplifying the flow of energy.
It's like choosing the right time and place to send out your signal for maximum impact.
Exactly. Are there any specific practices that can enhance this connection even further?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yes, things like the infinity walk, labyrinth walking, or visualizations like caressing the facets of the diamond can help create a more coherent and powerful energy field.
Okay, those sound interesting.
These practices can strengthen that charge coupling between the sender and receiver.
So we're moving beyond vague mystical terms here and into the realm of tangible techniques and practices that can actually amplify these energetic connections.
Yes.
But what about the science behind all of this?
Right?
How do we explain distance healing in a way that makes sense, to people who might be skeptical?
Yeah. Well, that's where our understanding of energy transmission and the nature of time comes in.
Okay.
A key concept here is longitudinal waves.
Longitudinal wave.
Yeah, unlike the transverse waves, we're familiar with longitudinal waves travel faster than the speed of light.
Wait, hold on. Faster than the speed of light. That doesn't seem possible.
It definitely challenges conventional thinking.
Yeah.
But the work of physicist Raymond Childs suggests that exceeding the speed of light is possible, particularly in the realm of longitudinal waves.
So are you saying that these longitudinal waves can transmit information instantaneously across vast distances?
That's the idea, and this is where Dan Winter's perspective on time becomes relevant.
Okay, Dan Winter.
He argues that stillness points, those moments of perfect equilibrium, are not timeless, but rather timeful.
Timeful.
Yeah, points of convergence for all possible spin rotation rates.
Okay, so this is where things start to get really mind-blowing.
It is.
Winter's suggesting that by accessing these stillness points, we can tap into multiple layers of time and reality, effectively expanding our consciousness.
Exactly.
And our ability to connect with information and energy from seemingly impossible sources.
Right, it really challenges our understanding of what's possible.
My mind is officially blown. But let's bring this back to Earth for a moment.
Okay.
How does all of this relate to us, to our everyday lives? What's the takeaway for our listeners?
Well, the key takeaway is that we are all inherently connected, not just to each other, but to a vast web of energy and information that permeates the universe.
Okay.
By cultivating inner bliss, strengthening our intention and refining our attention, we can tap into that web, unlock hidden knowledge, and even influence events at a distance.
So we're not just passive receivers, but active participants in this interconnected reality.
Exactly.
We have the power to shape our experiences and influence the world around us through the energy we emit and the intentions we hold.
Precisely. And this brings us to the crucial role of bliss in this whole equation.
Okay, let's dive into that.
All right.
What is it about bliss that makes it such a powerful force?
Bliss isn't just a feel-good emotion. It's actually a state of heightened coherence where our energy flows freely and our brain waves align with the Earth's Schumann resonance, that natural frequency that surrounds our planet.
So when we're in a state of bliss, we're basically vibrating in harmony with the Earth itself.
Yes, and this harmonic resonance can have a profound effect on our perception and our ability to connect with subtle energies. There's a fascinating anecdote about this involving children and nature spirits.
Okay, nature spirits. Now you've got my attention. Tell me more.
Well, in certain cultures, there's this belief that nature spirits exist ethereal beings that inhabit the natural world. And it's said that children with their naturally blissful energy can often see these spirits.
That's amazing. So it's like their auras are somehow attuned to a frequency that makes these beings visible.
Exactly. It's as if the blissful energy acts like a tuning fork, allowing them to perceive these subtle realms that most adults are blind to. And this highlights a really crucial point. Our bodies are not just physical vessels, they're temples, intricate structures designed to channel and amplify energy.
We've talked about the idea of temples before, usually in the context of ancient architecture and sacred geometry. Are you suggesting there's a connection between those structures and the human body?
Absolutely. Ancient temples were often designed with specific proportions and geometries that mimicked the energy flows within the human body. They were built to create resonant fields, to amplify consciousness, and facilitate connection with higher realms.
So the same principles that govern the flow of energy in a grand cathedral also apply to the human body. That's incredible.
It's all about resonance, and creating a harmonious flow of energy and bliss plays a key role in this process. When we experience bliss, our energy field expands, our perception sharpens, and we become more attuned to the subtle nuances of our surroundings.
So cultivating bliss isn't just about feeling good, it's about unlocking our full potential as energetic beings, as conduits for connection and transformation.
Precisely, and this brings us to a crucial point, the importance of memory, and our ability to resist external manipulation. Our memories, our experiences shape who we are and define our unique energy signature.
But how does memory relate to connection and this idea of resisting manipulation?
Well, think about it. When we forget who we are, when our memories become fragmented or distorted, we become vulnerable to outside influences. It's like losing our internal compass, our sense of self.
So the stronger our sense of self, the more rooted we are in our own unique energy signature, the less likely we are to be swayed by external forces.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of the soul comes in. Some believe the soul is essentially the repository of our memories, our experiences across multiple lifetimes. It's the essence of who we are.
So if we can tap into that deeper level of self, that soul memory, we become more resilient, more resistant to manipulation.
Precisely. It's like strengthening our energetic core, our inner foundation, and certain practices like Kundalini yoga are said to help activate this process.
Kundalini, that's the energy that's said to lie dormant at the base of the spine, right? What's its connection to memory and enhanced perception?
Kundalini is often described as a coiled serpent of energy. When this energy is awakened and rises through the spine, it's said to activate the pineal gland, a tiny gland in the center of the brain, often associated with spiritual insight and heightened awareness.
So activating the pineal gland through practices like Kundalini yoga can enhance our perception and potentially even unlock access to those deeper soul memories.
That's the idea. It's about removing the energetic blockages that prevent us from accessing our full potential. And when that happens, when the energy flows freely, we become more sensitive, more intuitive, and more connected to the subtle realms that surround us.
This all ties back to the concept of the Akashic Records we discussed earlier, this universal library of knowledge that exists within each of us. Are you suggesting that by cultivating bliss, by awakening our Kundalini energy, we can tap into that library more effectively?
Precisely, it's about creating the right energetic conditions within ourselves to access this vast wellspring of information.
So it's not about searching externally for answers, but rather about tuning our internal antenna to receive the wisdom that's already within us.
Exactly. And this brings us back to the practical aspects of connection. How do we translate these concepts into actionable steps that our listeners can take to enhance their own ability to connect?
That's a great question. We've covered a lot of ground, from wrinkles in time to nature spirits to Kundalini energy. Let's distill this down into some key takeaways that our listeners can apply to their own lives.
First and foremost, it's about cultivating inner bliss. This doesn't mean we have to be happy all the time. It's about finding moments of peace, of joy, of connection with something larger than ourselves, whether it's through meditation, spending time in nature, or simply listening to music that moves us. Those moments of bliss help to raise our vibration and align us with the harmonious frequencies of the universe.
And remember, bliss isn't something we have to chase externally. It's already within us, waiting to be unlocked. It's about shifting our focus inward, cultivating those feelings of gratitude, appreciation, and love that naturally generate this blissful energy.
Absolutely. And this brings us to the importance of intention and intention. When we set clear intentions and focus our attention with laser-like precision, we amplify our energetic output. We become more powerful creators, more effective healers, and more potent manifestors.
It's like harnessing the power of our minds to shape our reality, to influence events in our lives and even in the lives of others.
Exactly. And this is where the techniques we discussed earlier come into play, practices like the infinity walk, labyrinth walking, or the caressing the facets of the diamond. Visualization. These techniques help us to refine our attention, to create a more coherent and potent energy field, and to amplify our ability to connect with ourselves, with others, and with the universe at large.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about actively engaging in practices that strengthen our energetic core, our ability to focus, and our capacity to connect.
Precisely. And this brings us to a final crucial point, the importance of remembering who we are as we tap into our deeper soul memories, as we cultivate our inner bliss and refine our intention. We become more resilient, more authentic, and more aligned with our true purpose.
It's about shedding the layers of conditioning, the limiting beliefs, and the external influences that have obscured our true nature. It's about reclaiming our sovereignty as energetic beings and stepping into our full power.
Beautifully said. And this is an ongoing journey, a process of continuous self-discovery and refinement. It's about constantly asking ourselves, who am I? What is my purpose? And how can I best serve the world with the unique gifts I have to offer?
And remember, there's no right or wrong answer to these questions. It's a journey of exploration of self-acceptance and of embracing the ever-evolving nature of who we are.
Exactly. And the more we connect with our authentic selves, the more we cultivate our inner bliss and refine our intention, the more we become beacons of light, radiating positive energy outwards and inspiring others to do the same.
That's a beautiful image to leave our listeners with. We are all interconnected. We are all capable of incredible things. And the power to create a more harmonious and fulfilling reality lies within each and every one of us.
And that brings us back to this intriguing question of time.
Oh, yes. Time is always such a slippery concept, especially when we're talking about things like distance healing, Akashic records, and accessing information from beyond our perceived reality.
Yeah, our experience of time, how we perceive it, how we interact with it.
It's like all these practices we've been talking about, cultivating bliss, strengthening our intention, tapping into those deeper memories. It's almost like they expand our awareness of time itself.
It's interesting, isn't it? It makes you wonder if our everyday experience of time is just this tiny little sliver of a much bigger, much more complex picture.
Right. And what if by shifting our awareness, we can access different aspects of time, different layers of reality?
Think about those stillness points we were talking about, those moments of perfect equilibrium,
Yeah.
where all possibilities seem to converge. What if those points aren't timeless, as some people say, but rather time-full, like points of access to all sorts of different timelines?
Whoa, okay, now that's a seriously mind-bending concept. Are you suggesting that by tapping into those stillness points, we could actually experience time in a completely different way? Like maybe even access information or memories from what we perceive as the past or the future?
It's a possibility, and, it makes you think about all those ancient myths and stories we hear about time travel and past lives and communicating with beings from other realms.
Yeah.
What if those stories aren't just fantasy? What if they're glimpses into a reality that's always been there, just outside our normal perception?
It's like we've forgotten how to tune in to those other frequencies, those other dimensions of time and reality.
Maybe, and perhaps these practices we've been discussing, meditation, visualization, cultivating bliss, they're helping us remember.
Like rediscovering a lost ability.
Exactly. Opening up those doors to a vast interconnected web of possibilities that extends way beyond our limited everyday perception.
This deep dive has been amazing. It's really opened up my mind to a whole new world of possibilities, and I hope it's done the same for our listeners. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about reality and time and our own potential.
It's been a real pleasure exploring these ideas with you, and I want to encourage everyone listening to keep exploring these concepts, keep asking questions, keep challenging your assumptions, and see where this journey takes you.
Beautifully said so. For all you deep divers out there, keep seeking, keep questioning, keep connecting, and most importantly, keep an open mind, because who knows what incredible wonders await us as we continue to explore the mysteries of the universe, both within ourselves and in the world around us. Until next time, happy exploring.